Good morning, Dr. Hari. I would like to welcome you in this session, and at the same time, happy to see our listeners and participants in the session. So, welcome all of you.
Good
So,
morning,
today
Vivek.
we are good morning. Today we are here in the Smart Talk session with Vivek Padalia. So, we are having a conversation with our guest of the day, Dr. Hari Prasad. He's an author. He's an expert in various areas like the consulting, like the writing a lot of books. He is a doctorate degree holder and has done his PhD in employability skills. This is one of the area where very few people are expert in the country. So it will be great to see lot of experience here in the session today, and I think all of you will have a good learning from the talk. So over to you, Dr. Hari, with the first question.
Yes, Vivek.
What is this employability skills and what is the meaning of this? But before you will come to this answer, I need to know a small sharing about yourself, about your upbringing, about your experience in the life.
Sure, Ji, sure. So thank you for this opportunity, and I especially thanks Mr. Vivek for this smart talk session. I am one of the very interested observer. All the smart talk sessions comes with all the various speakers. Today it's my turn. Very happy and thank you for that, Vivek Ji. On the first note, and when it comes to me, yeah. About me, myself, I'm Dr. Hari Prasad. I have completed my MCom, MBA, and PhD with 8 diplomas, and I carry 12 plus years of experience, especially in teaching and training. And I'm expertise in HR from last 12 years, and I have authored 4 different types of books. One on strategic human resource management, the other one is on entrepreneurship development, the third one is on stress management, and the fourth one is on human resource management with special reference to hospitals. Is my fourth new title. That is the Corona baby, I can call. This 100 days of lockdown has made me to write a book and publish the book online. 450 plus people have attended the program of my book launch session, and it went on very well. And Ministry of Labours, and I have invited many top officials from Government of India. And this is all about the success story of my travel. And we have asked to share my experiences. I'm very much specialized in a concept of employability skills. Along with that, I have some interest over the HR, where the HR and training are 2 different aspects combinedly taken care and helped for the forward travel of the organization. In this particular regard, I have worked very closely with human resource and also training department to make the quality of the organization and to make the organizational vision mission come out very nicely. These are some of the expertise, creating strategies for them online, creating strategies for them offline, working with the employees to create strategy. These are some of my experiences and expertise which I have learned in the last 12 years.
So it is great to know your areas of expertise. I think in the session we will get a lot of insights from
Yeah,
this experience.
sure,
So
Vivek.
coming back to my first question, what is the understanding, general understanding about this employability and the skills, and how one should see this employability skills in a bigger picture?
Okay. So when it comes to the concept of employability skills,
Yeah,
uh,
please.
Satish should mute, I guess. Vivek.
I'm just saying this is. I'm just checking who is.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
The question, I just want to repeat the question. What is employability skills and what is the understanding of employability skills? What is this employability all about and what is this skill all about? And
Right.
very rightly asked, the question you have shooted over me is the very right way. There are 2 different words called employability and skills. So the first word, employability, making a person ready for job, making a person ready for business, making a person ready to win his own bread butter jam for his livelihood or for his family. This concept is what we have to understand as employability, the first level. The second important word is skill or skills whatsoever. So skill means a special characteristics or a set of characteristics or features which a person can deliver or express, or we can say in a right word, which he can exhibit before the public towards the organizational improvement or towards the business improvement, can be considered as skills over here. So now combinedly talking employability skills. Employability skills means a set of skills which help a person to attain employment, to sustain employment, and to earn money and to settle in life. These are the big outlines of employability skills actually. Yes,
Right. My voice is audible?
yes, very much, very much.
Okay, okay. So, when, when we are talking about employability and about the skills, so general understanding is once you are completing your study, you are ready for the job. That is the general understanding. And there is lot of discussion around this. And I have seen in various colleges, in various universities, and in the organizations. This is coming out very clearly that even you have done your MBA or the BTech or whatever other degree you have, but many times students are not ready for the job.
Correct.
So why this gap is there?
Yes.
Once I have done my studies, then I should be ready for the job.
Correct. Done. Very nice question and very important question of the day. I should go back to British period to answer this question and then come back to 2020. So let me go back 300 years or 400 years back. During the olden days, I say, there is a educational system called Gurukula. Means Guru Sishya is the relationship between a teacher and a student, where a teacher will have a set of students and he will train the students only on those specialized skill where student is very much expertised all about. So he is called as guru, and the sishyas are the students who learn the particular skill for their livelihood from the guru. This is the ancient culture. After the British coming inside for the business and all the other stuff, the history all of us know, during the period they observed the prosperity, the wealth and the money of India, everything comes only from the knowledge and the management and their skill expertise. VHC, can you please mute your mic? It's echoing us. So this particular process of English educational system they have introduced just to collapse the intelligence and also the wealth of India. This is the first level of concurrence towards the India, eradicating the Indian education system and implementing the English education system. This led us to spoil all our ancient knowledge and all the other stuff. There is a festival called Bhogi. In Telugu they call Bhogi, means which Makar Sankranti. That is the festival where many people burn their old things. This is one of the important festival which British have selected to spoil or to eradicate the knowledge of Indian history. They asked all the Indian people, they forced people of India, they forced scholars of India to burn the ancient scriptures and all the other stuff. Few they have taken away, and other things we have burnt our education and literature by ourselves. End of the day, we landed up this way. All the formulas are found out by some English people. This is how we are landed up. End of the day, and this is a history of our education system. Now let me come back to 2020. The right question asked by Mr. Vivek is why people are not landing up in the job after the education directly from college. There are three different steps in employability skills, which I want to highlight. Number one, pre-employability skills. which will happen in schools, which will happen in colleges, and which will happen in education only, pre-employability skill. Level 2, employability skills, means after the education, there is a small bridge between the college and corporate. College to corporate is not a direct travel. There is a bridge that is called as second stage, that is called as employability skill development stage, and the third stage is post employability. Already, as we discussed, employability means attaining the job, post employability means attaining a job and then getting trained from the experts or from the training manager of the organization. These are the three stages of employability skill, VXG. So the question is, again I would like to repeat, what should we do to land up a student directly from college to corporate? The answer for this question is directly the corporate HR, corporate trainer, and the corporate recruiter or the technical personality should directly come to college, take them a separate 1 or 2 hours of session every day, and then prepare them for 4 years as per the needs of the corporate, and then take them along with them. This is the only way to make the college student to land up in corporates directly. There is no shortcuts. That is sorry, we are unable to hear you.
right. So if we will the consistency,
Vivekji, please unmute your
you are
mic.
able to hear me?
Now,
Hello.
Vivekji, you are using two different logins. You should unmute the mic in your video and mute the other smart talk. It is echoing actually. The other smart talk should go to me.
1 second, 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, is
Vivekji, the same thing again. Smart talk should go mute. Yeah, now your video should get unmuted now. The one with your video. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Please go ahead, Vivek.
Okay. Actually, I'm using two different instruments because sometimes network fluctuates. So that is the purpose. But I think some
Me too,
technical
me too.
issue.
Same
Okay.
sheets.
Yeah. So now the point is, it means what I understand from your sharing is, if we are consistently focusing on the skill part, if we are consistently having sessions throughout this program or throughout the degree or the diploma, whatever we are doing, I think this will take care that gap which currently we see in the all around us, whatever the program we are looking into. Good. So considering this fact, so now can you differentiate the skills in different categories? Is this the possibility?
Yes, there is.
To have a better understanding when we are talking about the employability skills or the skills required. So can we distinguish, separate it out so that we can understand it easily? Yes, okay, these are the different type of skills one need and how I can start my journey.
Sure. So understanding skills is very important for all the student community or existing corporate people. There are two types of skills which a person always exhibit. Number one is their technical skill, and number two is their non-technical skills. Technical skills are also called as hard skills, which is directly used for the technical aspects. Such skills are called as hard skills. The version 2 is soft skills, which is also called as non-technical skills. These are the two different types of skills available in this entire globe. Whatever skill you take, you can bifurcate these skills only under these two categories called hard skills or soft skills, technical skills or non-technical skills. These are the two aspects. When it comes to the travel of education, accordingly, current travel of education, where people will focus more on their hard skills and they try to get the pass mark or they'll try to get the degree on papers. Is there any chance of producing the information of books to reality is what missing in the current education system, where I am learning technical skills, but I am unable to produce the technical skill for the real need of corporate, number one. Number two, already soft skills is already forgotten. The education system have removed the soft skills concept from entire degree syllabus. 4 years of my engineering, 3 years of my undergraduation, any graduation, or 2 years of my post graduation, entire soft skill concepts are removed. Only one single paper for 20 marks. One university is very pathetic. One single paper for 10 marks they have allocated for soft skill. What is a learning I'll get? How will I talk to HR? HR expect me like a Superman. I go there like Mr. Bean. So this is what the gap between the corporate and college. And for the, I'm very happy that 2020 is giving a very amazing real life for the new young generation or upcoming generation. Let us take the new education system for a while. They have very clearly separated the hard skill and soft skill. I also contributed few information for current education system. I'm very happy to share that also with you. Current education system, which is upcoming education system, has very clearly bifurcated the technical skill and non-technical skill as per the international standard. Whereas if a student want to take one particular paper and travel along with the same paper or same syllabus for 25 years, yes, he'll be something more than a doctorate. Probably after 12 years of time, a student who takes up single paper, a study for continuous 12 years, he will be much more equal to a doctorate or much more powerful than a doctorate of 2020. This is what the current new education system is planning to promise to future India, and good luck for all actually. To be frank, this technical and non-technical employability skill gap is already removed from 2020. This is the happy moment, I should say. Probably these programs will not happen from 2021 for your information. So probably you will be the last to do these such programs again.
Okay, okay. But yes, this is good thing that some of the changes which was required since long time, now we can see that that is being implemented or revised policies are coming up. But I think it will take 5 years at least if you will when you will start seeing the results on the ground.
Correct.
So that part is going to be the going to be there. And now we know that there are different part of skills, hard skills, soft skills, and till now what we were focusing upon. So this gives us a very aspect. So now in 2020 you talked about employability skills are going to be in the focus, and people are getting real-time experience in their life because of this current scenario, difficult time that we have seen around in last couple of months. So now, why you said that point that people are getting real-time experience? What do you mean by that?
Vivekji, can you please repeat the question?
So when you just shared that the people are getting real-time experience in current scenario, right? And we already have already seen that the policy is revised for education. New policy is there. Considering both these points, new policy is there, then real-time challenging time is there. People are getting more experience. These skills under this current time, how they are getting, absorbing, experiencing these skills in their life.
Sure. See, before Jan, I should say this word very rightly, and the answer should be very clear. Before Jan, probably till 2019 December or Jan 2020, all the experts are allocated or made to work only for single organization, and they are not much exposed to Zoom. That is the right way. And they are not much exposed to any of the social medias. Experts are just working for some focused activities. Experts started working for vision and mission of a single organization. I should thank COVID. Thank you for the scenario where all the experts available in the globe and entire in our country, they have all come out online. They are now used to Zoom. They are now used to Gmeet. All the technology they are using, and all the webinars are happening all over the day, all over the globe, all over the places. This is the place where I am using the word called real-time experiences, or expertise are coming and talking to people for free. I have supported nearly 1,850 students in the last 3 months of time via online training program for developing their employability skills. I have covered most of the South Indian colleges for developing their employability skills, and we have conducted online interviews, we have conducted online programs, we have given trainings, and we have released offer letters also online. Means only Zoom is the only source of my recruitment in the last 150 days. So this is how the experts are coming to students, students are coming to experts in real touch or in direct scenario. One such example I can say is Smart Talk, where many of the people are coming back to us and talking to us live. Yes, Vivek.
Yes, beautifully explained this particular change, what we are seeing around us, and you are rightly said about it, that the corporate CEOs or the senior leadership and many people all across the globe, they started scheduling their Zoom talks, their sessions on the Google Meet or other platforms, and people are able to connect. And I think I can also see that every day I'm getting almost 10 plus invites for the meetings.
Correct.
So very difficult to be part of all the 10 meetings, but good opportunity for everyone that they have such a they have such an experience, knowledge around them, and they can utilize it up to the best, whatever the best they feel about like it. So
To add one more point, Vivek, the beauty is not just private organizations or private people are coming up and doing all these webinars or programs.
Right.
Directly, Government of India, state government of the every state, from CM to PM, everyone comes online. They directly talk to public. We can
Right.
directly talk to them. So this is a where I can see the real democracy is happening over online.
Right.
We can feel the democracy here
Right,
now.
right, exactly. So it's not about the one particular segment or industry.
Correct.
This phenomena is you can see all across the areas. Even I have seen the online yoga classes. I have seen online gym sessions, these wellness sessions, and different healing sessions. So it is amazing to see that everyone is coming here and start working in a new environment.
To
And this
add
is
some
very
more humor, Vivek, I have actually opened 2 online karate classes also. They have invited me as chief guest for opening the karate classes. Along with naturopathy. So people are learning karate also. I very clearly say, please stand at least 10 feet back to your TV. Please safeguard that. So this
right,
how
right. That's perfect. I think that's the classical example of
correct.
what was about the change,
The
what we
online change,
are
what's
able to see.
happening? Yeah,
Even small kids, they are on their laptops or mobiles for almost 3, 4, 5 hours. They are doing all online education
correct.
through this medium in this current time. Okay, now that's good. Creating a good perspective around us and creating a new environment. So under this changing environment, I see these skills might be going to the requirement of the skills might be different in coming time. So
Mhm.
how do you see skills, the requirement of these skills with respect to the changing time in coming days?
Yes. So I should use a very simple word called change management. Uh,
Right.
Let me take a small example of telecom industry, which is very easy to make everyone understand. In the year of 2000 to 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, the landline phones or the bill phones are the utmost, topmost phones available for most of the people. During those days, incoming calls are charged 10 rupees and outgoing calls are charged 20 rupees per minute by Airtel. This is the scenario of those days, just
Right,
2004. So Nokia is the biggest handset manufacturer company and monopoly in the market.
right,
Situation changed. As you rightly asked, what is the change happening in the education and skill development? This is the change from landline to mobile phones, from mobile phones to smartphones. The change has happened in the technology where people have already adapted the change and people are forced to understand the change at one part. Number two, people love to enjoy the change. This is number two. When it comes to age, I should say the age as an important criteria. People less than 30 will very easily adopt the technology, go ahead. This is what statistics says. People above 30 will feel, oh, there is some technological change. I should go to training, I should learn, I should develop, and then I should imbibe. This is a small technological change which is happening, and thanks to technology, now everyone from baby to grandma, everyone is now on smartphones. That is a very big change which we can see. There is much to get changed, Vivekji. To my understanding, whatever the skill development happen will happen only IT or IT sector. When it comes to end user, it will be a very simple solution. That is where the people are giving simple solution with effective outputs, including doctors, including nursing services, including physiotherapy. Now we are enjoying online technology. So just adapt the technology available as per the years. You will be always updated.
right. So it means you see technology is going to be a key player, but in there are
Hello, Vivekji.
yes.
I am unable to hear the question. Actually, it got muted for a moment. Can you please repeat the words?
So is it audible now?
Yes, please. Very much.
Okay, okay. So what I am saying, based on your sharing, it looks like the technology is going to be a key player, which will impact everything all around us, right?
Correct.
And in the other areas, there are other areas of our life which will become more simpler in the coming days, and it will be decided by the impact what they are making around us. So, considering this phenomena, how we see the role of a student as well as parents and the society in in the future, building the skills or the life skills or the employability skills for a generation.
Sure. Very nice question and very tough question also to answer. I should take a few dimensions of skills to answer this question. Number one, from 2020, I am talking as a parent and I have 2 years old kid in my home. And as a parent, I should decide and I should talk, and also as an expert, I should put my words in a very nice way. Number one, all these days, especially let me take from year 2000 to 2000. it's a proved scenario. Whatsoever expert comes and talks to me, I'll simply ask, sir, are you numerically strong or are you theoretically strong? With that one particular information, if a expertise know, that will lead to earn money. That's all, Vyakti. Life is very simple. Divide the kids into two parts. Understand your kid, whether he is good in number or whether he is good in theory. That's all. If my kid is good in theory, I'll teach him Ramayana, Mahabharata. I'll make him an amazing speaker. He'll become a motivational speaker within 12 years of age. Assume my kid is super in number. I'll show him Sakuntala Devi movie in Amazon Prime. I'll show all Sakuntala Devi's or Ramanujam photos and videos. I'll teach what Aryabhatta said to my kid. If that kid is very numerically strong, if that kid is theoretically strong, I'll simply go to Dronacharya or I'll simply go to Aryabhatta and show what is the theoretical concepts of life. Job done. You see all the experts, one they are expertise in theory or one they are expertise in numbers. They are not expertise in both. As simple as that. Job done.
A beautiful explanation of this mindset, and I think that the question which I wanted to ask that was around this only, because many times we see people this journey of learning or journey of developing self become a very painful journey, and for few it is a full of fun, it is full of pleasure and full of excitement. And I think the core is the core we can see here in your answer to this particular question, that if we will see the right person in the right place and based on the interest, based on the passion, based on the his potential, if we will able to connect the things around him, I think the results are amazing.
Correct.
Very well. I think very well said. Yeah. So before coming to our last question for the day, I would like to ask our participants if they have any question, they can ask to Hari directly. They one by one they can unmute themselves and can ask. But before they will go with their questions, I would like to tell them that next Thursday we are going to have a session with one of industry leader, and we are talking about more on the emotional intelligence. The topic is going to be how the emotional intelligence is in our day-to-day life, the role of emotional intelligence in our day-to-day life. So be with us if you are interested in the topic. So now coming back to the all of you, please ask. Feel free and ask any question if you have with respect to the today's discussion. We have a couple of people here, so I don't want to calling all of you by name. So any question, and if you have any question, do you want to ask anything? There is a guy with us, a new HR person. He wanted to learn some HR skills. I'm not able to.
Hari.
Oh, Hari is our guest of the day. Okay, you are asking question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hari, you nicely explained one thing, that is, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yeah. Hari, I am Vidyasagar. It's not Chakra, it is Vidyasagar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, from Hyderabad only. This, I agree with you that you suggested that industry and institution interaction should be maximum. That will give good knowledge to the students what industry is really happening, what is the requirement for industries. I agree, and I told in so many colleges same. Whenever I used to go for a campus, I used to tell the same thing. One more thing, one more area, I feel that not only faculty from the institution, faculty from the industries, even institution or the professor and lecturers, their exposure on the factory or their exposure on manufacturing side, their exposure on business side is very, very, very low. And they also take some initiative. They should visit the factories frequently, various factories, and understand. Then, when they teach their theory, they can correlate with the theory and they practically what they have seen in the factory. That's what I feel. I think. What is your uh, comments on this?
Very nicely said, sir. This is the important point which I have defended in my PhD thesis evaluation, and where I got caught, and it has become a very hot red discussion topic. I directly said in my research, I have worked with educational colleges, management of the college, faculties of the uh, students, and also students. These are the three triangle love story which I have taken, three people whom I have covered, and the supporting variable is corporates.
Yeah.
And I have taken these four variables out of three. I have checked, I have spoken to more than 1,350 to 1,400 faculties during my research process.
Oh my
Out
God.
of which I have found only 5% of faculty are from industry exposure, and all the other 95 people are directly from the same college to same faculty position. This is the beauty of the college. And I asked them, did you ever go to site visit? They said, yes, sir. Site visit is a picnic for us. We go to
Correct.
the factory, we enjoy a good palkova and all the stuff in the milk factory, and they do some shopping and come back. As you rightly said, sir, the gap between student and corporate is 90%. The gap between the faculty and corporate is 110%.
Yeah.
This is the truth. If I say this, no, most of the faculty will get very angry and they say, what should we do now? So this is the reality, and now those gaps are also coming down, sir. Faculties are also attending corporate programs from experts, and faculties are also attending all webinars. Faculties are also now getting buckled up for skill management. Now they are forced to. This is one of the good signs which I am seeing. And the beauty is, sir, reality, I will say, no corporate will entertain faculty inside the company, sir. This is the poor fact. I am talking from faculty side. If
Okay.
10 faculty apply for a very big corporate, I don't want to name anyone. If a 10 big faculty of CSE department or IT department, as a combo, 15 people apply for any of the giant IT organization and request them a permission for on premises training for 5-10 days, no corporate will approve their invitation, sir. This is the pathetic situation. How will the faculty learn, sir? Again, faculty should resign the job. He should become a applicant. He should become a employee of corporate and then come back to faculty job. This is not practically possible. So,
It is so because I have seen, I don't know about IT side, manufacturing side is another issue. I think there will not be much resistance unless there are hundreds of people will be coming
okay.
to visit the factories.
Sir, they will be coming and going for information. 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, 5 hours, maximum 8 hours.
Yeah.
They will see, they'll see it like a moon. What I am seeing now. From land, I am looking at the moon and I am feeling, wow, what a nice thing. This
Okay.
is the reality of industrial visit or site visit, sir. That
Right.
person, especially the faculty, the one who teach mechanical engineering should come and work in the industry, take the spanner, take the screwdriver, open the machinery, only then he will know what is mechanical engineering all about.
No, may not be that, not that extent. At least I am telling, for example, a chemical engineer, he should know what is the size of a reactor should be like. He has seen a reactor in the only in the laboratory, but he has not seen in a factory.
Sir, reactor in factory is explosive. If I am not wrong, the one which I see in my laboratory or show in my laboratory, even if I touch or hug it, nothing will happen. So this is the learning, sir. You understand
Okay.
the gap.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Support the
Thank you.
faculty, sir. I request all.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you.
I think one point here is rightly said that people are coming for the visit or spending few hours in the organizations. But I have never seen in my career of 20 years where I have received any request from any of the college or any of the faculty in a group asking them to spend time with us in the industry. We did lot of programs calling school visits where we invite the schools, we invite the students to be part of the process, how we manufacture things. We almost spent half day with these guys. And I have, though I can remember a couple of requests made by a couple of colleges for their students and their faculties, asking for they just need 30 minutes so that they can be in the premises, can have small discussion and have a tea, and then they will go as part of their factory visit or their part of this curriculum. So though, but what you are also mentioning about that request made by some of the faculties, I think that is also the part of the other side of the coin, and that might be true. But the point is, really, this is a gray area where everyone has to come together and has to work to
Correct.
improve this. We started listening this. I think almost since last 10 years, I'm listening it continuously. That universities, colleges, they will say they want to upgrade their curriculum so that that can be matched with the requirement of the industry and help the students to be absorbed after the course. That is, this is what is happening.
It's
So
coming
good,
true, Sarji. It's coming true.
more need to be done. So any other if there is any other question from any of our participants, we would happy to take it up. Otherwise, we will go with our last question and close the session. Okay, I don't see any question coming up. Okay, Richard, please go ahead.
Sir, Hari, sir.
Yeah, hi, Richard.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, sir, actually, I'm a student, actually, like graduated 2 years ago. So, like, I heard I heard your talks, like, recently. So, like, what I came. Hello?
Yes, Richard. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, yes, yes. So, hello?
Yes, Richard. You are audible. Go ahead.
You can
Yeah. Yes, sir. So, like what I wanna, what I saw is actually like in my college days is like what you just before said, no, like they go for picnics like as college IB or something. Like they just come up with an excuse of IB, and all they do is they just go for hello.
Go ahead, Richard. Yes.
Like it's echo like my
Vivekji, I request you to please mute the mic. Thank you. Yes, go ahead, Richard. Now it's okay.
yes. Yes. So I saw all these things like, but what I really want to ask you is like, as a fresher undergraduate, and like I've currently completed a BCom and currently doing my cost and management accounting CMA.
Wow.
So what I saw in those colleges is like I really got nothing, no technical skills, zero technical skills from my 3 years undergraduate. They just like asked fees for some two three skills like which we never got to learn. We just had 2-3 sessions of this tally or something, like some extra things,
Correct.
which you would call technical skills, but
I know.
it's just a waste of time. So, like, what would you suggest for a fresher undergraduate with just BCom degree and to have an edge on the current market scenario, to land some decent place in the job market? Like, what kind of skills they should have an edge. They should learn to build themselves in the hierarchy of job market. We have currently seen that. So that's what my question is.
Done.
Yes.
Thank you for the very important and interesting question, Richard. And
Thank you.
yeah, the answer is very simple. The graduation
Yes, sir.
will be of 3 years, or will be of 4 years, or will be of 5 years. Number one, irrespective of the graduation or the degree the particular student takes, he should directly attach the particular evening times or morning times or one free time directly to a additional qualification of the same graduation. Let me take BCom students as example. A BCom student who joined the first year of degree, from the first year itself, evening or in the mornings or one particular time, daily 2 hours or 3 hours of time, he should spend time in tally classes. He should directly go and work with any of the auditor. He should directly go and work with any of the accountant directly, and he should try to understand how to use a calculator. He should try to understand how to use a Excel. He should try to learn how to use tally from the year one. If he is doing this as a part-time job or as a part-time learning or as a part-time course with any of the direct industry expert or with direct practitioner, daily 1 or 2 hours of his time will, in the couple of years or in the 3 years of degree, by the end of the degree, along with the BCom degree papers or BCom degree degrees from the university, he'll be already landed up in the law job before he get the degree. This is the reality a student should understand. During the education, he should imbibe a real-time technical skill and he should work with a real-time professional. Only then this particular program will be highly successful. I will repeat the concept of Guru Sishya. A student will become Sishya and one industry expert will become Guru, and the student should get aligned directly with the industry expert, consider him as a Guru and work for next 3 years along with him. One side he will learn from college, the other side he will learn directly from the corporate expert. There the journey of the student is complete: technical skill, non-technical skill. This is how the travel of students should go for a successful, beautiful life. This is the only way a student can become more fruitful or a student can become more productive and good citizen of India. This is the only way. They should spend time with real-time industry experts.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah. That's what it's like currently,
That is the only
yeah.
option left out. No YouTube
Yeah.
videos, no online webinars, nothing will help you to become a real-time monster in the job. You have to go, you have to fight in the real-time war field to win the course of life or to win the course of job.
Yes, sir. I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
welcome. Vivekji, please unmute the mic. Hello? Vivekji, please unmute the mic. We are unable to hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know, some technical issue. So sometime it is started, start working and sometime it is not.
Now it's okay, Ji.
Okay. So my last question to you is, relationship with respect to the skills, level of skills and the expertise of a person. So what is the correlation you are able to see?
Vivekji, sorry to say, we are unable to hear your voice. Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, is it audible?
Yes, now it's okay. Please go ahead.
Okay, my question is, what is the correlation you are able to see between money making versus skill level of a person?
Wow, very nice question and very powerful question. Money making. The art of money making, I call. Money making is an art which a parent should teach the kid from the year one, or I can say year zero. The moment the kid is born in this particular beautiful world, from the day one, the concept of money making a parent should teach. All the parents do a very simple mistake is they save money, they hide money from children. they don't even show money to children. Most of the 10th standard students even don't know how to count money. If I give them 1 lakh rupees of various denominations, they struggle hard to count the money. Real physical money they can't count. Forget about students, even the corporate accountants also, they don't know how to count money via using hands. They
Good morning, Dr. Hari. I would like to welcome you in this session, and at the same time, happy to see our listeners and participants in the session. So, welcome all of you.
Good
So
morning,
today
Vivek.
we are good morning. Today we are here in the Smart Talk session with Vivek Padalia. So we are having a conversation with our guest of the day, Dr. Hari Prasad. He's an author. He's an expert in various areas like the consulting, like the writing a lot of books. He is a doctorate degree holder and has done his PhD in employability skills. This is one of the area where very few people are expert in the country. So it will be great to see lot of experience here in the session today, and I think all of you will have a good learning from the talk. So over to you, Dr. Hari, with the first question.
Yes, Vivek.
What is this employability skills and what is the meaning of this? But before you will come to this answer, I need to know a small sharing about yourself, about your upbringing, about your experience, early experience in the life.
Sure, Ji, sure. So thank you for this opportunity, and I especially thanks Mr. Vivek for this smart talk session. I am one of the very interested observer. All the smart talk sessions comes with all the various speakers. Today it's my turn. Very happy and thank you for that, Vivek ji. On the first note, and when it comes to me, yeah. About me, myself, I'm Dr. Hari Prasad. I have completed my MCom, MBA, and PhD with 8 diplomas, and I carry 12 plus years of experience, especially in teaching and training. And I'm expertise in HR from last 12 years, and I have authored 4 different types of books. One on strategic human resource management, the other one is on entrepreneurship development, the third one is on stress management, and the fourth one is on human resource management with special reference to hospitals. Is my fourth new title. That is the Corona baby, I can call. This 100 days of lockdown has made me to write a book and publish the book online. 450 plus people have attended the program of my book launch session, and it went on very well. And Ministry of Labours, and I have invited many top officials from Government of India. And this is all about the success story of my travel. And Vivek ji have asked to share my experiences. I am very much specialized in a concept of employability skills. Along with that, I have some interest over the HR, where the HR and training are 2 different aspects combinedly taken care and helped for the forward travel of the organization. In this particular regard, I have worked very closely with human resource and also training department to make the quality of the organization and to make the organizational vision mission come out very nicely. These are some of the expertise, creating strategies for them online, creating strategies for them offline, working with the employees to create strategy. These are some of my experiences and expertise which I have learned in the last 12 years.
So it is great to know your areas of expertise. I think in the session we will get a lot of insights from this experience.
Sure,
So
Vivek ji.
coming back to my first question, what is the understanding, general understanding about this employability and the skills, and how one should see this employability skills in a bigger picture?
Okay. So when it comes to the concept of employability skills,
Yeah, please.
Satish should mute, I guess. Vivek ji.
I'm just saying this is, I'm just checking who is,
Yeah, okay. Yes.
yeah.
The question, I just want to repeat the question. What is employability skills and what is the understanding of employability skills? What is this employability all about and what is this skill all about?
Right.
And very rightly asked it. The question you have shooted over me is the very right way. There are two different words called employability and skills. So the first word, employability, making a person ready for job, making a person ready for business, making a person ready to win his own bread butter jam for his livelihood or for his family. This concept is what we have to understand as employability, the first level. The second important word is skill or skills whatsoever. So skill means a special characteristics or a set of characteristics or features which a person can deliver or express or we can say in a right word which he can exhibit before the public towards the organizational improvement or towards the business improvement can be considered as skills over here. So now combinedly talking employability skills. Employability skills means a set of skills which help a person to attain employment, to sustain employment, and to earn money and to settle in life. These are the big outlines of employability skills actually. Yes,
Right. My voice is audible?
yes, very much, very much.
Okay.